The ocean doesn't sleep. It moves like a heartbeat, steady, endless, and unpredictable. Somewhere over the Caribbean, under a moonless sky, a single radar screen starts to blink. Inside a Coast Guard cutter drifting through the waves, that single dot changes everything. At first, it's nothing. Just another mark on the grid. But the officer watching it knows the difference between a fishing boat and a ghost. The signal is too fast, too erratic, coming from waters that smugglers have been using for years. He leans closer to the screen. "Captain, we've got movement," he says quietly. Within minutes, the entire deck is awake. Crew boots hit the metal floor. Lights flicker to red. The cutter turns its bow into the wind, engines rising from a low hum to a growl that cuts through the dark. On the bridge, the captain studies the radar. A single unknown vessel, moving toward international waters. No beacon, no response, no ID. Possible go fast, someone says, slang for the kind of high-speed boats that cartels use. Sleek, small, and built to vanish. The captain nods. "We'll shadow them. Keep it quiet." Above the clouds, a surveillance drone arcs into position, its camera lens sweeping over black water. It spots a faint wake, a thin white line cutting across the sea. Visual confirmed, the drone pilot radios in. "That's our target." The chase begins long before anyone hits full throttle. Every movement on the ocean is a calculation. Wind direction, current speed, timing between waves. The cutter holds back, keeping distance. The crew listens to the rhythm of the sea, the slap of water against the hull, the deep echo that tells them how fast the other boat is moving. At 3:17 a.m., they try the first hail. "Unidentified vessel, this is the United States Coast Guard. Please respond on Channel 16. Silence. The captain tries again. Still nothing. The tension builds not from action, but from waiting. Every second of quiet feels louder than noise. The radar pulse beats in rhythm with the crew's heartbeats. Then, out of nowhere, the target accelerates, doubling speed, turning sharply west. "They know we're here," the captain says. Engines surge. The cutter follows. Spray blasts across the deck as wind rips through the rigging. The ocean becomes a battlefield of sound, waves crashing, turbines whining, radios spitting coordinates. On a second screen, command back on land tracks the same signal. Analysts exchange glances as the route lines up with a pattern they've seen before, the same corridor used by smuggling rings trying to sneak through the Caribbean belt. The operation shifts gears. Another drone joins in, lighting the path in infrared. It sees the outlines of cargo crates on deck, heavy, strapped down, too large for fishing. The officer in charge doesn't need confirmation. He's seen this setup a dozen times. Inside the control room, tension mixes with calm professionalism. The crew moves like clockwork. Nobody yells. Nobody panics. Orders are crisp, clean, practiced. Hold distance. Stay on their tail. Prepare intercept craft. Outside, the sky starts to lighten with the first edge of dawn. The clouds turn gray, and the horizon glows faintly gold. Through binoculars, they finally see the target, a sleek gray hull cutting through the waves. It's real, it's fast, and it's not supposed to be here. The captain calls command again. "We've got visual confirmation. Possible narcotics vessel. Back at headquarters, the response is immediate. Maintain pursuit. Do not engage. Record everything." For the next 40 minutes, the chase stretches across open water. The Coast Guard tries every procedure. Light signals, radio hails, warning horns, but the boat keeps going. Analysts feed updates through satellite channels, possible links to a known cartel, same model used in past trafficking routes. Then, suddenly, the smaller vessel slows. Maybe out of fuel, maybe by choice. The Coast Guard holds back, cautious. A small intercept craft lowers from the cutter, slicing through the waves toward the drifting boat. "Eyes up," the team leader says into his mic. Approaching target. What happens next isn't chaos. It's precision. Cameras record every movement. The drone hovers above, capturing thermal signatures. The boat appears empty at first. No faces, no response. But under the tarp, they find heavy containers sealed tight. The smell of fuel, salt, and something chemical fills the air. Evidence teams later confirm it's part of an illicit shipment. By sunrise, the chase is over. The sea calms again, as if nothing happened. The cutter drifts slowly back toward its patrol route, the adrenaline fading into exhaustion. On deck, The crew leans against the rails, watching the sky turn orange. They've been awake for 12 hours straight. No one speaks for a while. Later that morning, Washington goes live. News networks pick up the story within minutes. U.S. Coast Guard intercepts suspected smuggling vessel off Venezuela, the headlines read. The administration calls it a warning to every cartel that thought the ocean belonged to them. Cameras flash, reporters ask questions, and officials repeat one phrase: decisive action. But behind the press room doors, the real conversations are different. Lawmakers ask how far operations like this can go. Analysts talk about the risks, the politics, the international waters, the fine line between patrol and power projection. The Coast Guard stays silent, bound by routine and duty. Back at base, the crew debriefs. They review every second of footage, every radar ping, every call. Mistakes are studied, procedures adjusted. The captain stares at the final radar log, a single line across the map, ending in still water. The sea always remembers, he says quietly. Days later, new policies roll out. Funding for faster patrol craft, advanced radar satellites, real-time AI monitoring of maritime routes. The mission becomes a model, a case study in modern interception strategy. But for the people who lived it, it's more than that. The young officer who first saw the blip can't forget the silence before it all began, that heartbeat of calm that always comes before history shifts. Online, the footage trends for weeks. Analysts break it down frame by frame, pointing to moments when the crew made critical decisions. The public sees a 10-minute video, the crew remembers a 10-hour storm of choices. Even months later, questions linger. What was inside those crates? Who sent the boat? What message does this send to the rest of the world? The ocean, as always, keeps its secrets. The Coast Guard returns to sea, same ship, new crew members. Every night, they stare at the radar screen glowing in the dark. Most dots fade quickly, harmless traffic, fishing boats, cargo ships. But sometimes, one blip moves just a little too fast, in just the wrong direction. And when it does, everyone feels it, that pulse of adrenaline, that reminder that peace on the ocean is never guaranteed. The captain adjusts his cap, gives the same order he's given 100 times: track it. Because out here, in waters that stretch beyond borders and politics, there's no pause button. Only vigilance, only duty, only the hum of engines beneath a sky that never forgets. The sea rolls on, calm again, pretending nothing happened. But every wave carries echoes of radio calls, footsteps on steel, and a single blinking dot that once changed the course of a night.